Hi, this is Adam. It's the 30th of March, and we had a group talk today with 5 members: Ikuya, Eriko, Hiroshi, Noriko, and Chihiro, and myself. And the topic of the session was your failure story. New vocabulary for today was cram school, as in I started teaching junior high school students at a cram school. Hostel, which is a cheap kind of hotel. For example, I stayed in a hostel while I was in Germany. Mother and father-in-law, the parents of your wife and husband. So I went to stay with my mother and father-in-law in Kyoto. To defer, for example, deferring your first year of university. And accepting, so my parents were very accepting of my choice. It means to tolerate many different choices. Okay, 2 things to watch out for today. First, using saw and watch. So watch we usually use for something which has a set time. So for example, you watch a TV show or watch a movie. But saw we can use for anything. So I saw a photo, or I saw Tokyo Tower, something like that. Okay, so be careful of saw and watch. Also, calling ahead. So planning ahead, talking about something in the future. We don't say I called him 3 days later to let him know I was coming. It's better to say I called him 3 days ahead to let him know that I was coming to visit. Okay, so today was the first time any of us had met Ikuya because it was his first group lesson. He's working now for a trading company doing sales, so we all introduced ourselves, and including Chihiro, she said she had recently started a new job teaching high school students in a cram school. And we talked a little about what happened after and during the earthquake. Everyone seemed not too bad. They all didn't have anything broke. I had one thing break. My Game Boy had it fell off a shelf and something heavy fell on top. But you know, my friends were a bit worse off. They all had books all over their apartment. But everyone in the class, they were okay. After the earthquake, though, many people got stuck. For example, Noriko had to spend the night in her office watching the news. She didn't want to go to sleep. Also, Hiroshi lives quite close to his office, so he was okay, but Chihiro was at home at the time. But Eriko and Ikuya both took about 3 hours to walk home that evening because the trains were stopped. After the earthquake, I ran away from the radiation to Kyoto and Nagoya. I stayed in some very cheap places along the way, like a manga cafe or sauna. Only Ikuya said that he had stayed in a manga cafe before. And he also, while he was in Thailand, he stayed in a very cheap hotel just for one night. But Hiroshi said that when he was in Germany, he also stayed in a cheap hostel, but people were really nice and friendly, so I guess it depends on the country you're in. Germany and Europe have a very long backpacking tradition, and probably very nice hostels to stay in. Okay, so today when we asked about good news, Eriko said that she found a very nice, interesting new bar to go to. There's a patissier who works there, and you can call ahead, so maybe 3 days in advance, and ask them to make a custom cake for you, anything. So Doraemon or, I don't know, Bart Simpson, anything like that. We had a bit of a quick talk about what people want. The funniest was Hiroshi. He said that he wanted to get a My Melody cake because he loves My Melody. Okay. So after that, we moved on to today's topic, which was failure stories. Well, since we were talking about Chihiro's new job in the cram school, we also talked about the idea of university examinations. So I asked the question, has anyone failed the first try, so both Hiroshi and Ikuya had to do an extra year's study. It seems quite common in Japan. If you don't make it into the university you want, then you try again, Spend that extra year trying to get in. For Noriko, she said that she didn't want to go to university, but her, not her parents, but actually her teachers were really pushing her to try. So she signed up for about 5 or 6 and actually only went to one test because she slipped in for all the others. She told us that she really loves to sleep, you know. She wakes up at about 1 o'clock. It's a perfect time for waking up. You know, I prefer the morning, but some people are night people, you know. So anyway, she managed to get into the university she wanted, but then she deferred for a year and took another year off. Anyway, so yeah, Eriko actually got in first try, but the university she chose wasn't a difficult one, she says, because the way that she chose her university was not from the name of the university, but just where it was. She wanted to come to Tokyo, you know, so she chose the easiest Tokyo school she could find and got in first try. Okay, so after that, Eriko told us her failure story, which was quite funny. Yesterday actually, in her company, she had to send an email to everyone in her department, and the very most important part of the email, the changing of an address, an IP address in her company, she made a mistake in, so she had to change it and you know, apologize and send another email. And unfortunately, when she was doing that, she panicked a bit, so she made another mistake and had to send a third email to confirm it again. So that's quite embarrassing for her. Talking about emails, you know, Chihiro also sent a mistaken email. She sent quite a strong email. I hate, you know, someone, but made a mistake and actually sent it to that person. So they found out that she hated them, and she had to tell them the truth in the end. Hiroshi had a funny story. He met a nice young lady who he wanted to get to know a bit better, and unfortunately, when he sent her the email, he discovered that he had forgotten her name and sent the wrong name. So he quickly called her up and apologized to her. So, you know, we really have to be careful when we are sending emails, because it's so easy to do, you know. It's not like writing a letter, getting a stamp and putting it on. It's instant, you know. It's a great thing, but you have to be very careful. So this week, please try and read your emails twice before sending them. Okay, bye.